Jocelyn Bell was born on July 15, 1943, in Belfast, Northern Ireland. At the young age of 11, Bell failed her examination in Britain that would allow her to pursue her higher education. Because of this, her family sent her to boarding school in England. From there on out, Bell was fascinated with science. Even with little science equipment at her school, her family's strong support was more than enough. Bell went on to study physics at Glasgow University and continued her education as a graduate student at Cambridge University and began working on her PhD. During her time at Cambridge, Bell was involved in the construction and operation of the radio telescope, which contains thousands of poles about 9 feet tall that have wires and cables that run over 4.5 acres. Bell was responsible for monitoring and interpreting the recordings that she observed from the radio wave signals. To record the data, Bell had to analyze charts by hand, which was a critical component to the research. During her studies at Cambridge, she was mentored by Anthony Hewish, a British astronomer who won the Nobel Prize in 1974. This is still to be the source of controversy today, as Bell was never awarded the Nobel Prize, even though she was the reason for what they would soon discover. In 1967, Bell discovered the first radio pulsars, when she and Hewish detected a mysterious radio emission coming from a fixed point in the sky that peaked every 1.33 seconds. The discovery surprised many scientists, with some astronomers believing it could be communication from a life source. Bell and Hewish named the pulsar LGM-1, which stood for Little Green Men. A pulsar is a type of neutron star which rapidly spins at enormous speeds and is highly magnetized, giving off a strong beam of light. When a star is between 1.4 and 3.2 times the size of the Sun dies, it doesn't have enough mass to make a black hole. Because they don't have enough mass, they end their life as neutron stars and have the capability to become pulsars. So pulsars are simply rotating neutron stars. When the astronomers detect an intense beam of radio emissions several times a second as it rotates around like a lighthouse beam, they declare it to be a pulsar. Soon after her discovery, Bell married Martin Burnell, a government worker whose job caused them to travel very often. When she gave birth to her son Gavin, she had to give up on her research and work part-time in order to raise her son. She and Martin later divorced in 1993. Bell received various awards for her many scientific contributions. She was elected into the Royal Astronomical Society in 1969 and later became vice president of the society. In 1987, she received the Beatrice M. Tinsley Prize from the American Astronomical Society, followed by the Herschel Medal from the Royal Astronomical Society in 1989. Bell later received the Michelson Medal and the Oppenheimer Prize as well. In 2008 through 2010, Bell served as president of the Institute of Physics. In 2013, she was elected Pro-Chancellor of the University of Dublin. Just last year, Bell was elected president of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, which she still remains today. So far, there have been a total of 1,600 pulsars discovered, thanks to the hard work and dedication of Jocelyn Bell. She sums up her passion and view of science in a statement saying, "Science is a quest for understanding. A search for truth seems to me to be full of pitfalls. We all have different understandings of what truth is, and will each believe, or we are in danger of believing, that our truth is the one and only absolute truth. I think a search for understanding is much more serviceable to humankind, and is a sufficiently ambitious goal of itself."